Assalamu alaikum, hermanos y hermanas. Today, we got the three Muslims, Faiyad, Rami, and your boy Anghel. Today, we want to talk about music. Why the hell is it haram? Why do y'all think it's haram? Before we start going in, like, just subjectively speaking, like, off the rip, what do y'all think?
All right, bro. Islam really advocates for you just detaching yourself from anything that you might be addicted to. It might be things that you're physically forming an addiction to. It might be things that you're just forming a tolerance to, so you're making a dependence to it. Anything like that. So drugs, like substances, money, pornography, music, anything like that. So music, believe it or not, it is something that you can form a dependence to, right? Because people that listen to music a lot, they'll recognize they can't do anything without listening to music. For example, people that go to the gym, and this would be me too. When I would go to the gym, I would have to have my headphones in. The days that I forgot my headphones, bro, I would be ready to just drive back home and pick up my headphones and come back. I don't care if it's a 20, 30-minute drive. I'm not getting that pumping. Second reason is music kind of makes you not, it just makes you off your square. I'm not fully logical when I'm listening to music. I kind of start feeling emotions towards what the music is trying to project you towards. Like if I'm listening to some R&B, best believe I'm going to think like I not normally think. If I'm listening to something hype, like some trap music, I'm going to be up and ready to go. If I'm listening to some like Latin music, bro, it's just going to make me want to go to like Cuba or something like that. You feel me? So it just kind of drags me and pulls me off my center. And I don't like that because I like being in center and being in control. But
You
that's
like
just
being
me.
grounded. You like being grounded.
Yeah.
Zur, what about you?
How about you, Rami?
Islamically speaking, for anything to be haram, you would need evidence for it. Because the formula basically in Islam is everything is halal until proven haram. And how do you prove it's haram? Use the Quran and use the Hadith. So there are certain verses alluding to it in the Quran. The scholars mention them. They're slipping my mind now. I don't really remember them. But they have to do with like delusion and delusional enjoyment, and don't give in to delusional enjoyment, all that stuff. But there's a hadith of the Prophet ﷺ where he said that all musical instruments are haram except the Arabic drum, the ones you would like hear at like Islamic weddings and that stuff. But scholars differ over whether it's authentic or not. So there's a hadith in Bukhari where the Prophet ﷺ said that there will come a time where my ummah, his people, they look to make, I believe it was men wearing silk, adultery, alcohol, and music halal. They look to make musical instruments halal. So if they're looking to make it halal and he's mentioning it amongst other haram things, it's a given that it is haram. Most of the scholars throughout Islamic history, majority of them said it is haram, but a lot of people like to take certain scholars and twist what they're saying, because some of them said like, singing is halal and poetry is halal and all of that. And they mix it up with saying, okay, and he's saying music is halal. But this is not the case necessarily. The majority of scholars say it is haram. So that's why we have that ruling.
But why do you think it's haram?
Like the reasons behind it?
Oh, no. How do you feel about music?
Okay, yeah. So as I mentioned to you guys earlier, I actually used to make music. And I used to listen to music. I used to listen to more lyrical music where it has like a proper meaning, like Kendrick Lamar and J. Cole and there's a message, but it actually has like, it sounds proper. And I used to listen to that. I used to try and make that kind of music. So I was heavily invested in it. And I feel like a lot of people use it as like a coping mechanism. That's why a lot of people, when they go through a breakup, they start listening to breakup songs and stuff. Or when they're at the gym, they have to listen to workout music. There are literally playlists on YouTube called workout music and all this stuff that hypes you up. And it's kind of like they need that because they don't have it within themselves. They need an emotional song because they can't, cope with it emotionally and by themselves. So people use it as a means of short-term gratification. And it becomes like an addictive thing to some people because they use it to get over things. And I wouldn't say that's necessarily healthy or helpful, especially compared to other means. And also things like, when you start listening to music, you start dancing and that stuff you were mentioning before, you become submissive to the music and all that. You kind of submit to it. When you
hold on now, bro. You're getting a little too far ahead, bro. Just
Mo's gonna pass the mic on to you. Well,
yo, by the way, everyone, he has a SoundCloud. We're gonna put a link in the description box down below.
Why don't you tell us what his name was? Anghel.
I actually forgot. What was it?
It was Lil Queasy.
Lil Queasy. Lil Queasy on the beat.
Queasy, baby.
Yeah.
Lil Queasy. All right.
That's a joke. It wasn't Lil Queasy. Nobody think that.
How many followers did you have on SoundCloud at your peak? I'm talking like this is like
my peak,
the epiphany where
Man,
you were like, yo,
that.
I could do something out of this.
I don't remember how many.
Bro, didn't you tell me that you were gonna make a TikTok like with your rapping, but you decided, nah, I'm gonna do it for Islam?
I was gonna make like a poetry thing, and I wasn't gonna post like poetry stuff on there, and I decided I'd rather just keep it for Islamic purposes.
True. I was joking, but that's pretty dope.
Poetry, that's dope.
That's pretty
for
crazy,
those of y'all
man.
that don't know, he actually has a book that he wrote. He is an author. He is a #1 New York Times best-selling author.
It's gonna be like misleading information at the bottom of the video.
Bro, it doesn't even matter at the end of the day. Anyone can write a book and it will be a New York Times #1.
Yeah,
that title itself doesn't mean much, but all that matters is, bro, I approve your book. Yes. Have you read it or no?
Have I read it?
Yeah.
Or are you asking him if he's read his own book?
Why would I ask him if he read his own book?
Hey, sometimes you gotta ask, bro.
He ain't Drake, bro. I'm asking you.
You're right. Nah, baby, I have not read it yet. But send me the link and send me the SoundCloud link as well.
All right, inshallah.
Inshallah, bro. Inshallah. Yo, so you said a very nice example. You said that people use it as a coping mechanism, like when they're going through a breakup. Can both of y'all give examples of a time where you use music as a coping mechanism?
I can.
Okay, go ahead, bro.
So this is actually quite unfortunate because this is when I was practicing. I was a practicing Muslim, alhamdulillah. This was just over a year ago. This song came out. I forgot its name. I think it's Nightfall or something. I forgot the artist. He's some white Nightfall guy. Yeah. But it's basically, the lyrics are
Sounds depressing.
Yeah, it kind of was. And it was basically about a girl leaving him or something. And just over a year ago, I went through, I don't know what should I call it? A breakup? I'll call it a breakup. People are going to be like, oh my God, he had a girlfriend. And no.
Nah, that was a failed business transaction.
Facts. Failed business transaction. My manager did not look into it enough. I fired him.
All right, but carry on.
Yeah. But on a real note, that was the first time I really listened to music in a while, and I kept listening to it, singing it as well, and all this stuff. And yeah, it sounded good, but it had a message behind it as well. And that's what really impacted me because I was in this emotional state and I used it to cope with it and felt like, I don't know, I couldn't really describe it. It's just something that I did. But looking back, it's kind of like, there are so many ways to go about it, especially as a Muslim. There's so many ways to go about it that are more productive.
Solid answer, man. I'm gonna just be honest with y'all because this isn't something like when you go to a church and you're trying to go, be a proper Christian and you confess into the pastor. No, we don't do that in Islam. But the reason I'm telling you guys is because genuinely for education purposes, guys, I'm trying to have y'all learn from my mistakes and y'all learn from our mistakes as a collective. So I don't mind telling you, I used to be addicted to weed. Not addicted in the sense that I'm I'm trying to sell an arm and a limb. But I used to smoke a lot of weed. And at least to my standards. And it got to a point where I was like, okay, this is bad. I gotta abstain now. And believe it or not, when I quit, it's been almost 2 years since I quit, but alhamdulillah, when I quit, I used to be having such a hard time being present in the moment. And my mind would be wandering. I would have a lot of anxiety, a lot of weird symptoms, stuff like that from the withdrawal. And believe it or not, your boy used music as a coping mechanism to force me to be present to the present moment and to just be in the now, because there was something about just being in my head, having all these feelings like anxiety, depersonalization and all that. And I was just like, really weird and really wonky. And something told me one day, just listen to music. Because what I would either do would be just run or go on a walk or do something that physically makes me in my body, or listening to music. And as soon as I listened to music, it kind of comforted me, where it was like, I feel good, I feel present. But then it got maladaptive to the point where it's like, without the music, my anxiety from quitting weed was higher. So now I was like, okay, I'm not going back to smoking weed. Why don't I just use music? Isn't it better than weed? And I went into this whole week to month long process where I listened to a lot of music.
Bro, let me just say, I'm proud of you, man, for quitting weed. And I don't know if you quit music yet, but proud of both of you for quitting music. It's a very tough thing. But to carry on, guys, because I'm pretty sure people are like, yo, what the hell? How is it haram, bro? Y'all keep talking. All right, so good examples, by the way. Good examples. Music is haram. And this is subjectively speaking, and we'll let you guys think about this on your own and make your own connections and come to the answers yourself. Because obviously we can't say everything to be 100% the truth. You have to find that for yourself and let Allah lead you and guide you to the answers. So, in my opinion, if someone were to ask me, why is music haram? All right, based on also what you guys said, I'm a piggyback here. I'm gonna add on to this. All right. So before I actually came to Islam, I was doing a dopamine detox, and that's the time when I stopped listening to music. Before that, I was just like y'all, listen to music a lot. I didn't have no music booth and a SoundCloud ready to go, but I was definitely listening to music for sure. And I remember doing this dopamine detox and thinking to myself, oh man, I can't believe I'm not gonna be able to listen to music. And I remember like 1 week passed, 2 weeks passed, 3 weeks passed, and I noticed like I was just becoming more peaceful and I was becoming more present. And I was like, well, that's strange, because like I would personally say that when I listen to music, I felt a little bit more present, because it made my body move, right? It made me dance. It made me feel some type of way, whatever emotion, whatever message was being transmitted through the music. It was making me feel that. And bro, music releases dopamine, so obviously it's gonna make you feel a little bit more present. It's like Faiyad, when he stopped smoking weed, he started listening to music. It had a very similar effect because it's dopamine. So it allowed him to feel semi-normal, for lack of better words. Right. So I started noticing that I started becoming more peaceful. And I started asking myself, well, damn, like, is music really something that should be listened to? I mean, yes, it feels good, but I can inherently say that I feel 100 times better now that I'm not listening to music. And then that's when I started looking more into it. And I started looking into the effects of music. And guys, I might be butchering this tremendously, but I think there's either a study or something done. If I can find it, I will for sure link it in the description box. But it says that music affects both of your nerves. You have two types of nerves that I do not remember, but the way that it affects it is that it alters
your brain chemistry.
It's something like that, dude. I'm not remembering any of it right now.
No, I remember you shared that article, and it just takes you out of your logic.
I guess what I'm trying to say with all of it is that after doing research, and now that I can't remember it, I'm stumped. I'm definitely gonna go look and find it and put it in there. But after doing the research and seeing for myself, all right, yeah, I guess music isn't the best thing. And then coming into Islam and then seeing that music is haram, that music is forbidden. And then it's like seeing the explanations that people had, and like the explanation that Rami said in the beginning. And if you think about it, like, again, what happens when you listen to music? In the first few seconds, your body starts moving. That right there is submission. It is confusion of the highest order. Your body is literally submitting to the music instead of Allah. And guys, not to get crazy with this, but if you submit to the music, you are literally accepting whatever is being transmitted in the music.
Yeah. SubhanAllah. It's amazing.
Yeah,
because
about the message, you're right.
Yeah. Because at like nightclubs and stuff, you can't have a nightclub without music, right? You can't have a party without music. So there's a reason they play music and a certain type of music at parties. So yeah, subhanAllah.
It's that same type of vibe, guys. And yo, FYI, I'm not out here telling you guys I used to smoke weed and then I had this and that just for fun. All right. Like I genuinely, you know, when I quit weed, I had a lot of effed up symptoms like anxiety, depersonalization, depression, whatever you want to name it. And it took me about 6 months where I was messed up. And this was about a year and a half ago or 2 years ago. And when I had this in this period of time, I realized a lot of things about mental illnesses and disorders. I realized all these symptoms we have today in society, it's hella over, you know, diagnosed, overclassified. And most mental illnesses and symptoms that you guys feel day to day, if you guys do, they're all kind of one and they're stemming from one issue. So not to, you know, toot my own horn or anything, but since then, I probably helped dozens of people that came to me for the same exact thing that they've been going through, usually accompanied by weed. And I helped them throughout and helped them out of it. And I'm pretty qualified. I'm not like a licensed, you know, psychologist or anything like that. But trust me, like I have a lot of experience and I know what I'm talking about. So if any of you guys are going through the same thing, kind of addicted to weed, anything like that, you guys know exactly where to find me. Everything stays between us if you want to get your mind right. But yeah, aside from that, I wanted to add something to both of y'all points. When I never did a dopamine fast like my boy Anghel, but I did something where I kind of just refrained from music for a few days. I think I talked to you about it last year and you were like, yo, do a music fast. And what I did was, I remember on day 4, there was something about it. I just felt so clear, so peaceful. I could just focus and be in the present. And I preferred it over in the state where I was listening to music. Now, here's where things got funny. I was driving, and I'm pretty sure everyone listens to music when they drive, right? Well, what I'm trying to say is everyone that does listen to music definitely listens to it when they drive. So as I'm driving, I'm like, I literally have my finger on the play button, and I'm like, okay, it's been 4 days, whatever. I'm just like, bro, if I click play, I don't want it to like undo the state that I feel now. I don't want to be like sunk back in. And I feel like everyone, when they try to like abstain from anything that they know they shouldn't be doing, they feel that cross or that fork in the road where they're like, I really want to stop doing this. And I'm this close to like rebounding or relapsing back. And they're almost like afraid of success. They're afraid of like just continuing their thing, continuing their dopamine fast or music streak or whatever you want to say. And believe it or not, I didn't. I didn't click play. I kept going. I went about 2 or 3 weeks without listening to music. And dog, that was insane. It was refreshing. I had so much time where I was more aware of things around me. I was more present. When I was driving, I was noticing things that I didn't notice before about the roads and everything. When I was in the gym, I was having a mind-muscle connection that I couldn't when I was listening to music. And I noticed that when I didn't have music before, I would be weaker. So I kind of broke that addiction. You feel me?
How do you feel about that, Sir Rami?
Honestly, subhanAllah, I didn't think that 4 days would be enough, but alhamdulillah, it's good to hear. So I feel like if anyone's watching this and they have, you know, if they listen to music often, even if it's just to experiment, see what it would be like, they should pause it for like a week or so and see the difference. Because if you care about yourself and your well-being, like do the most minimalistic thing and just cut it out for at least a few days. If you truly care about yourself, then at least try it, because it can't hurt.
You're right, man. People are always wondering, how do I know if I have a pornography problem or a music problem or a substance problem? And it's like, go a week without it. See how you feel. If you feel some type of way by day 7 and you can't focus and you can't go without it, you're addicted to it. And by addicted, we're not talking about physically addicted, like you're like shaking without it. Nah, it could be psychologically addicted too. Like you have a dependence on it. So now without it, you feel some type of way and you need it just to feel the same.
Yeah, subhanAllah. And just think about it like this, because we talked about, you mentioned dependency, right? would you rather be dependent on 100 things or independent, as much as a human can be?
Independent, bro, 100%.
Yeah, because if you're dependent on all these different things, what happens if one goes wrong, or if you don't have access to one, or something like that?
Exactly. It's kind of like all those people that really rely on people. I'm not trying to be some like bitter black pill person, but I'm genuinely telling you guys, like, one of the biggest things I see today is people rely on other people, not just things like music or whatever, but we rely on things too much, and we don't realize that relying on them is a problem. Like Anghel was talking about music, and you guys already know the biggest problem is not knowing you guys have a problem to begin with, which is why I was talking about these dopamine fasts and things like that. It really cemented the idea that it's really hard to live life and go day to day withdrawing from all the things that we think we're not addicted to, like no technology, no music. It seems like it's undoable.
Yeah. SubhanAllah. Damn, man. It goes deep then. It goes deep.
Yeah. Yeah, that goes very deep.
Rabbit hole goes deep, man.
Man. And like now just remembering, so I'm still stumped on that one study thing, bro. Like I can't believe I can't remember any of it, bro.
No,
But
no worries,
wallahi, bro,
we'll
one of the things it said was when it affects your body, it also affects your mental state, like you were saying, right? And bro, like it said that in the US or like in places where music is most dominant, most seen, where you guys like it's in the culture. Like you go anywhere, you go to the grocery store, there's music. You go to the bathroom, there's music. You go to the park, there's music. How the hell is there music in the park? I don't know, but there's music. Bro, and these cultures where there's so much music playing, it actually has the highest cases of damn, what's it called? It starts with an N, bro. I can't believe it, bro. I can't believe it.
Well,
someone take over,
some...
bro. Nah, someone take over, bro. I'm done.
Nah, I know what you mean, bro. Here's what's weird, bro. I'm actually fascinated you brought that up. When I was in those 4 days when we were talking, you were like, yo, try music fast for these couple of days. I was like, I bet. Easy enough, right? See, what I thought was, I didn't, this is before I realized I'm living in such a Jahiliyyah culture, bro, in Canada, just like you said, bro. I thought, okay, cool, easy, bet. I just gotta stop listening to Spotify on my phone, stop listening to music in the car, stop listening to music at the gym. And then before you know it, I was like, a man's gotta eat, a man's gotta get some protein at the grocery store. So I go to the grocery store and get some food. Oh, what do you know? There's music there. I'm like, man, I'm not even trying to do this. Somehow my credit card got closed down or blocked, and I had to call them to authorize it again. So I called credit card company, and then they didn't even ask me, like, do you want to listen to music or do you want to listen to nothing? It just said, your wait time is X. And then what you hear? Music.
Disrespect.
I'm at school. Music. I'm at the park, just like this man said. How is there music in the park? Where is the sound coming from? Allahu Alam, bro.
Yep.
From music. And it's like, before you know it, I was like, I could do so much to take music out of my control, but it's like, I still live in a society where it's normalized and ingrained into the culture deep. So you're right, man.
Yeah, and the word that I was looking for was neurotic illnesses. So issues up here stemming from your psychology, your psychological state. The places where music is most prevalent, those are the places that have the most mental institutions to treat neurotic illnesses. And then places where music is not very prevalent, or where music is just nowhere in sight for the most part, they have the lowest mental institutions because they have the lowest cases of mental neurotic illnesses. Tell me right now if that is not something that just blows your mind.
It does, but I'm gonna play devil's advocate, bro. Not to just rain on your parade, but I took this course when I was doing my undergrad at McMaster, and it was called music therapy. And trust me, bro, your boy has no experience with that. I took it because it was a bird course, which is essentially a course you take to boost your GPA. You don't really care about it. My major was bio, so I was just like, yeah, I just want to get the hell out. Keep this as an elective, took music therapy. So we had a registered music therapist as our prof. And she was out here, preaching some whole other level stuff. And bro, at the end of the course, I realized there's this whole profession called music therapy. where they literally use music to treat illnesses and neurotic problems like anxiety and all that. Have you guys heard about that?
Nah, I haven't, but what do y'all think about that? Like in terms of using music to heal neurotic illnesses when music technically causes a lot of neurotic illnesses.
Well, I already know what I learned at the end of it. It was the same thing I realized from anecdotal first-hand experience with the substances. Bro, music takes away your attachment and dependence to a problem, but it unknowingly caused another problem now. But it doesn't seem like a problem because society ostracizes marijuana and drinking and all that, but nobody ostracizes music. Matter of fact, you're weird for not listening to music.
Yeah.
Right? You're weird for driving in silence. So I feel like these people definitely have issues with music after that, but they don't realize it's a problem.
Every girl I've been with in the past used to hate that I used to drive without music.
Bro, if I'm being honest, when I think about like marriage and all that and like, you know, driving with your wife or whatever, all I can think about, no matter where my mind wanders to, all I end up thinking about is driving in the car and having to say, I don't listen to music, we're going to play Quran or something. And them just being like, wait, what the heck? I don't know why, but you mentioned it, so it was like, damn.
Has that happened to you?
You gotta find a girl that vibes with the energy, bro.
Yeah.
That is true, man.
One of the prerequisite questions.
If she says that, you just gotta stop the car in the middle of the road and just tell her to get out.
100%, man.
Yeah.
For real. But
that
honestly,
came a little quick off the tongue like you've done before.
Are you talking to me? You talking to Rami?
I'm talking to you, bro. Once or twice?
Oh, you talking about like me driving in the car with no music?
Yeah, then kicking the chick out.
Oh, bro, come on. Don't put me on the spot. Anyways, continuing on. So, using music. If music is haram, if music can cause neurotic illnesses, why is it that sometimes it's used as a healing modality? And I probably didn't say it in this video, but we tried recording this, like 7, 8, 12 times. And I'm pretty sure in one of them, I was saying that you can have different frequencies of music. And I'm not talking about the hippie stuff. I'm talking about legitimate frequencies of the music where you can have like the 432, I think it's 5 something, maybe 532 or something like that. Definitely don't remember it off the rip, but there's different frequencies, and that's a fact. And each one has a different effect on the human body. So what would one say to someone trying to counter argue, saying that, but you have a healing frequency? Like, how can that be haram if it's healing the body, if it's a healing frequency?
Well, from my experience, you healing one sensitivity to one frequency means by definition you're harming your sensitivity to the other frequencies. But that's just me. What do you think?
I was gonna say, is it purely helpful, or is it still creating a dependency or another issue in the background? Because even with like physical medication, actual medication that you take, there's a whole list of possible side effects.
That's actually very interesting that you brought that up. I just have a quick question for you. Yo, Anghel, can I see your DP real quick? Doesn't that make you gay?
Guy. Rami, carry on.
All right. So even with actual medication that anybody takes, there's certain side effects that they may experience from it. But it's still medication. It's still meant to treat them or heal them or help them. So if there are still, side effects, I'd call them, of listening to music as a healing method, then this isn't exactly helpful, especially if there are other methods of healing. But obviously, I haven't studied this. I haven't looked it up, so I'm not too sure of that. And also, how is the Prophet ﷺ really going to communicate 1400 years ago? Okay, but if you listen to this frequency, then you're okay. But every other frequency is not okay. And is that really? I don't know. A lot of people wouldn't even really consider that music, especially like present day music.
Yeah,
but that's
it'd be more like it literally just be more of just a frequency, literally.
Yeah, because when you say one frequency, it's like, I mean, I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I just confused all of us on that one.
No, man, you
For
straight.
real.
Trust me. There was that 432 hertz. I listened to a lot of music, and bro, there's something about that made you feel some type of way. There was also like what they do is they make like these slowed and reverb type music where it's like they take a song and they change the frequency where the duration stays the same, but it changes the frequency. So believe it or not, guys, I don't know if any of you guys have heard any songs where they take the song and they make it slowed. And what they do is the duration's the same. So the entire feeling or sensation of it feeling slow motion is entirely changed on the frequency and the vibration of the music. Nothing changed with the duration of the song. Spooky stuff, man.
Yeah, I really like what you said too about that you're healing yourself on one frequency, but you're harming yourself on another.
Mm-hmm.
That
Oh, well.
that hits.
All right. So, are there any points you guys wanted to make on music specifically? Because there's a whole other, there are a plethora of things that people use to cope or are addicted to in our societies that may be affecting them. And I think it goes back to short-term gratification versus long-term gratification.
Yeah, let's get into that.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So yeah.
Let me be daddy
All right, listen,
for a second. Let me
listen,
be daddy
hold up.
for a second.
Before you daddy, I had a quick thing. We talked about weed. You guys can answer this after on how it goes, but well, I mainly talked about weed.
Dude, let's talk about weed.
Any of y'all, have y'all had any experience with weed? If you don't want to say here, remember, this is not Catholicism. This is not a church. You don't gotta, be like some Trinitarianism type of vibe where you gotta confess your life sins to another creation of God, which I find absurd. But that's just me. If you want to share with the viewers, cool. If not, no worries. But I know you guys don't partake, but have you partaken in weed?
Rami, I'm
Anghel.
gonna take it first, all right?
All right.
All right. So, guys, first and foremost, we say these to drive the examples home. We do not say this to boast or to be prideful over the things we've done. These are
100%.
our mistakes. These are the things that we have fallen and we needed to press life alert to get back up. And, we're here. So we're explaining to you guys what happened. All right. So don't take it as like we're being prideful or boastful over what we've done. We're just
100%.
sharing this to drive home the example. So
Exactly.
weed. Oh man, dude. Oh man. Let me tell y'all about this. All right. So I started smoking in high school. And the reason I started smoking was literally because everybody else was doing it. Literally, like all my friends were doing it. And I remember my best friend at the time comes up to me. He's like, bro, have you ever gotten high? I was like, no. He's like, bro, neither have I. We're gonna do it tonight. I was like, all right, let's do it. Dude, I remember doing that and like not even to talk about the experience because like, yeah, some of it might have been cool, some of it might have been bad, but it's like the point of the story is that the weed just kept me in this state where it's like when I was sober, I could only think about my experiences while I was high. And it made me want to go and be high again and again and again. And it made me lack presence. Like whenever I was completely sober and someone was talking to me, the only thought that I had in my head was like, man, if I was high right now.
Yo, tell me I'm wrong, but psychosocially or psychoanalytically, everyone just wants to recreate that first high.
Yep.
Tell me I'm wrong.
Yep,
Every time you wanted to get high, you just wanted to feel like that first time. But bro, you're never gonna get that first high.
Yeah, you're never gonna get the first high. And just to throw it out there on a side note, I spoke about this in my video where, I was talking about my revert to Islam and about the feeling that I had once I accepted Islam after reading the Quran and how that just made everything else fail in comparison to what I've done, like all the things that I've done. And like I said, I'm not proud of it, but all those things I've done, it it failed in comparison. And like Faiyad said, like when you do these things, you're always chasing that first high. And yo, from personal experience right now, like what I felt the first time after I accepted, like internally, that Islam was the truth and that Allah was the creator and Muhammad, peace be upon him, was and is the final messenger. Guys, like I still feel that. I still feel that first feeling, even when I'm praying, when I'm super focused. So like, subhanallah, like here I am. I don't have to chase anything. I'm experiencing it every single time. And every time I experience it, it's better than every other time that I've done any of these other things. I think that's crazy.
It is, man.
It's beautiful,
Alhamdulillah, bro.
But I think it's crazy.
It's amazing though how like Shaitan knows he can't get us when we're in our grounded state, when we're in our logic. So he uses all these different things to get us off our square, whether it be weed, music, alcohol, gambling, different types of addictions, just so we're just not grounded and detached from the world. And we're attached. And then he uses these things we're attached to just further spiral us into dysfunction.
SubhanAllah. Firstly, Anghel, may Allah bless you immensely. That was beautiful. Now, alhamdulillah, it goes back to the verse in the Quran, or the two verses in the Quran, where Allah says, those who believe and whose hearts are content with the remembrance of Allah, indeed with the remembrance of Allah, their hearts find ease and contentment. And I feel like a lot of people are trying to find highs and happiness up here, but what they need is contentment. Because if you look at the definition of contentment, it has happiness in the definition, because a person is content. And what's a better mechanism to be content about anything, literally anything, than the remembrance of the one who has control over everything? When you submit to the one who's controlling all of your affairs, you don't need to go to music that only impacts you but doesn't really change anything externally. But Allah has control over everything internally and externally, from your own perspective. Guys, and then there's another verse, really quickly, there's another verse where Allah says that without the remembrance of Allah, a person would have a depressed life. So when a person has a depressed life, what do? They try and find that high, and then they go to music, and they go to drugs, and they go to pornography, and they go to women, and they go to friends, and they go to all these things for short-term gratification. And it gives them a sense of gratification in the moment. And that's the high they experience. And then when it's done, they've formed a dependency on it, like we talked about, and they want it again. And then when it's done, they want it again. And then eventually it gets old, and they go to something else. And eventually they run out of things to try. Nothing gets them high again. Like we talked about, no one experiences that first high, and eventually it all just becomes drowned out. So what they need is long-term gratification, where you may struggle a bit in the beginning, but long-term it is so beneficial for you.
Guys, here's the thing. Alhamdulillah, bro. Thank you so much for sharing that. But I just wanted to say that the Quran tells you, like, straight up, oh mankind, avoid substances, avoid intoxicants, avoid all of these things. Although they bring some benefit, by and large, in the grand scheme, they bring a lot of harm. And it's true, because if you think about it, just like Rami said, short term, what do you feel? You feel coped. Short term, you feel peaceful. Short term, you feel like I'm on cloud nine. I got that high, like he said. But long term, what's happening? You're digging yourself deeper into the grave. You're digging yourself deeper into dysfunction. Yeah, bro. Show us that picture, bro, just to drive it home. You already know. And yeah, there you go. I wish you had one of pasta, bro, but whatever. So that's the point, man.
Don't tell me, I get it.
At the end of the day, bro, it just makes it suck, bro. You just deeper into this addiction, and you have more problems to deal with one problem now. Think about it. Allah also says stay away from gambling. What does gambling do? Yeah, and you might win money every now and then, but I've heard of people that have families and children and wives, and it's like they lost all their money, and it's like what is the point of that, bro? So Allah tells you plain and simple, like, avoid these things. Like, it's from the devil. There's no point doing these things. They'll just get you further deeper into these other issues. Now, we're not going to talk about pornography in this one, guys, if you're wondering, but because I feel like that should be dedicated to a whole separate episode on its own. We got stuff to say about that.
How far
But
in are we into this one?
I'm not gonna check, bro, because if I check, I'm gonna see my battery percentage, and I don't want to see that right now, bro.
Right.
But anyway, as I was saying, so to reiterate, substances by and large, we don't condone substances. We condemn substances. If you are, obviously this goes without saying, but I want to reiterate our points and values. If you are suffering right now with a substance use problem or substance abuse problem, seek professional help. This is not supposed to replace medical advice. If you're out here genuinely coping or genuinely having an addiction to things, get help. All right. But with that being said, we should all strive, as Anghel made a video about that, to live a sober and peaceful life. Right. Now, for those of y'all that haven't seen his video, go watch that video. But right now, why don't you reiterate your main key points from that?
To be honest, I do not remember. That was years ago. But what I will say to drive home this example is that it all boils down to submission. What are you submitting to at the end of the day? Because we all submit to something. Are you submitting to the creator, or are you submitting to a woman? Or if you're a woman, are you submitting to a man? Are you submitting to music? Are you submitting to alcohol? Are you submitting to weed? Are you submitting to shrooms? To cocaine? Like, what is it? What are you submitting to? And to be honest with you, if you like doing recreational things, like speaking from personal experience, you are submitting to those things. Because when you smoke weed, it puts you in a submissive state. Literally, it puts you in a submissive state. Try smoking weed and then being 100% all right to where you have no thoughts going on yet. I'm talking about no thoughts whatsoever.
Yo, I just want to tell you something too. It's such an umbrella term at the same time, because people don't realize, but all those people that you could think of, like all those rappers, whatever, they're also addicted to drugs at the same time, bro. They're addicted to music, obviously. They're addicted to drugs. They're addicted to like women. And it's a stereotype, it's a cliche, but at the same time, it's bro. Can you even see him or no?
No, I just see black.
I just see black, bro.
Okay, yeah, but go on. You're saying
whatever, bro. I'm gonna go on. I hope he comes back though. But you guys get what I mean. Angel's nowhere to be found now. Stay tuned, guys. He's back. Oh, I see you, bro.
I was burning, bro. I was burning up, man. I was sweating.
Anyway, guys, what I was saying is all these people are addicted to something, and it brings me back to like those days I would smoke weed and get high. I would never smoke weed and then just end it there. What else would I do? I would always listen to music. I would always overconsume television and Netflix and all that. I would overconsume food. And it would be the worst food, bro, when you get that munchies. Y'all already know what I'm talking about. And it's like that one dependence and overindulgence led to other things. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah. SubhanAllah. And that's usually how it works. Like, it doesn't, I feel like when it comes to drugs, there's a reason they call weed the gateway drug, right? Because nobody just, generally, they don't just jump to something hardcore. It starts off as something light, and then they move on, then they move on, and then they move on. You can look at this as, short-term gratification for different products or different things, right? It could start with music, and then it could turn to something completely unrelated, and then make its way to women, and then pornography, and then drugs.
Yeah, bro. I want to
because they're always looking for that.
Yeah. I mean, bro, women are naturally submissive. Like, women are naturally, they have more feminine energy, which is submissive by nature. So I'm just saying, straight from personal experience, most women I know in my life are more, like, I know more women addicted to weed and all those, substances that do those things than guys I know. Unless they're like a super feminine guy who's like not masculine, not on his purpose, not doing his thing. Because I don't know any guy that's like on his path that has time to like do anything that takes him off his path. And by that, I mean takes him into a more feminine, submissive state. You feel me? Women, though, they have that. It could be a gift, it could be a curse. They're more naturally submissive, which makes them easily more, predisposed to being vulnerable to these things. But they also have the gift in the sense that if they're submitting to something else that's proper, functional, and valuable, then by default, they're not submitting to music and drugs and all that because they can't submit to a lot of different things at the same time. So if they're out here really focusing on their iman or their family or whatever, they're not submitting to the other thing by nature. Men, though, is the same thing. If they're submitting to weed and music and alcohol and all that, they're not on their purpose. They're not submitting to Allah, the Creator, who has ordained for them their purpose.
Yeah, facts. That's facts.
I mean,
Nothing
dude,
but, bro.
some people will say as well, like, oh, but I like smoking weed because when I smoke weed, it makes me have these crazy ideas where I make all these connections and I have these realizations. And they'll say that about mushrooms as well. They'll say that about LSD. And bro, some people will even say, oh, I like listening to music sometimes because music allows me to make certain connections and then have realizations. But it's like, dude, you'll have those realizations on your own time. When you're ready, Allah will show you the way. But if you use these things, you will receive way too much too soon. It's like you pick up the phone, you ask God a question, God gives you the answer, and instead of you hanging up the phone, you staying on the phone, and you can't hang it up because you just did a substance that is now in control of you. You are in submission to this substance, and you are, for lack of better words, a slave to the high, to whatever it is that you have taken. You have to stay there with the phone up. You don't want the phone to be up, but you got the phone up still, and you're going to be receiving all these things that you're not going to be able to process, bro. Because when I used to smoke and I used to do these things, I used to have these realizations, bro. A year would pass, 2 years would pass, and then I would be able to process it. So it's like, what's the point, bro? At that point, what's the point?
Anytime I did shrooms too, it's like it forces you into this higher enlightened state where you're more receptive to all these things, but it's just short-lived, and you're not ready for that. It's almost like, as Buddhists call, unearned wisdom in life. And it's like when you come back and you're on the come down, you go right back to your life, bro. It's not, you're not woke or anything. You're not changed or anything. And it's like, now you just have this experience that you're cool. And it's like, oh, I learned a lot about myself. And now it's like, okay, you want to go do it again. And obviously that leads to other things.
Yeah,
I get it, man. It's just, you didn't learn anything, bro. You seen a glimpse of what you could have had properly, but you decided you want to taste in a free sample, and you want to go back to your messed up life.
I would go as far as to say that, like, when you do substances that take you out of like your natural state of mind, that's kind of like you trying to play God. That's kind of like you trying to do things on your time, when it's like, dude, there is no planner that is better than Allah. Like, Allah is the best of planners. Allah's plan is greater than our plan. And when we try to take control and we say, well, this is my plan, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to do this. I'm going to have these realizations. I'm going to have these connections. Like, all right, yeah, you might have a few of them, but are you ready for it?
You're going against the grain. It's going to be an uphill battle for life. Is that something really you want to do? Or do you want life to be simple? Guys, life can be super simple and super easy. It's just let go and let God. It's corny, but it's true. Because anytime I try to be God, in the sense that I try to be in control of everything, I just realized, one, you're not in control. So anything could happen that reaffirms that you're not in control. And then you'd be bugging and tripping on, why didn't it go my way? Why didn't it go to my expectations? And things are never going to go to your expectations. So forget it.
SubhanAllah. I feel like, just to piggyback off what Anghel said before, it's kind of like,
how you piggybacking him if he's piggybacking off you?
He got
off each other, bro.
He got off my back.
Damn.
Yeah, we piggyback off each other, you know?
It's like leapfrog.
MashaAllah, bro. That's all I gotta say. It's like leapfrog, bro.
Exactly, facts. But yeah, it's like, dang, made me forget my point, man. No, I remember. I remember.
All right, go ahead.
So it's like, it begs the question, how many more connections would they have made if they did it naturally, by natural means? If they, look to expand their minds and to reflect on certain things without any neurological hindrances, or without any drugs or anything that changes them. What would, how much more could they have achieved, and the skills they could have gained if they had sat down and perhaps meditated, or if they sat down and reflected, or if they made a notebook of certain things and then connected the dots. And at the end of the day, if you think about our plan, what is our plan? Our plan is what we want to happen. But what happens is what Allah plans. And the only time our plan goes correctly is when it's in line with what Allah planned.
Mm-hmm.
So Mufti Menk actually, I think he made a tweet, or he said once, when he makes a plan and it goes correctly, he says Alhamdulillah once. He thanks God once. But when it goes wrong, he thanks God twice. Because not only did it not work out for him, it worked out for God's plan. So he thanks God for hindering his plan, which wasn't correct. And he thanks God again for planning and making it correct.
I like that.
Yeah, subhanAllah.
And Allah bless Mufti Menk.
SubhanAllah.
He's the GOAT. But guys, neurological hindrances, bro. You're 19. That's crazy, man. The future is bright. Ladies, he's single.
Just a correction. I'm 20, alhamdulillah.
Oh, when did you turn 20? A few recently?
Yeah, August.
Okay.
Bro, you've been telling us you were 19 for like the past few weeks.
That's not true. I didn't say I was 19.
Yeah, you did. But
when did I say I was 19?
In your defense, it's this thing people do when it's like, when you just turn an age, a number, but it's like you're still in that year, and most of that year you've been saying you're 19, so you're still 19. Yeah. Like if people ask me, how old am I? Yeah. Bro, I'm going to say I'm 22. I'm actually 23, but I turned 23 in September.
Did I actually say I was 19?
That's not the
year you were 19.
Damn. That's tough. My bad.
Little queasy.
Little queasy.
Little queasy just turned 20, man. Alhamdulillah, yeah, I'm 20. August 21st.
20, and are you looking at what?
Alhamdulillah.
Am I looking?
Are you seeking an arrangement?
Are you seeking females?
Looking for 4, inshallah, high quality.
High quality. What defines high quality to you?
Is this the podcast for that?
No, but
it doesn't matter, bro. Go ahead.
All right, high quality. Oh my god.
You on the spot, bro. You on the spot.
All right, high quality.
We getting Sonya up in here, bro. Come on, bro. Let him have it.
All right, high quality.
Man, he's blushing now.
This man said Bismillah. Oh, bro, no, Bismillah, for real.
Right. High quality, first and foremost, the Prophet ﷺ said character and deen, and this is something I'm in full agreement with. If her character is on point, proper manner, and her Islam is on point, her deen is on point, then she understands how she's supposed to be as a wife, especially Islamically, which is super important, because I don't want to marry a feminist. I don't want to marry a feminist.
Facts.
Oh my God.
Facts, bro.
I'm not going to marry someone, inshallah, I'm not going to marry someone who's going to try and be the man, because Allah says in the Quran, the male is not like the female. The man is not like the woman.
Mm-hmm.
So when one tries to become the other, it's like, where is this coming from?
Pause,
you're going to have
confusion of the highest order.
You said it best, bro. Pause. Before you continue, though, what Rami referred to when he was talking about not this episode, or is this the episode? It's because we're really going to go into these topics. Over there, we're going to talk way more in depth about when he's talking about, I don't want to, marry a girl that's going to try to be the man.
Yeah.
I don't blame most sisters today, because most men don't know how to be men anymore. So we do have part of the blame, bro, why they feel like they got to step up. But I get you. It's like, if you are doing what Rami's saying we should do as men, then she has no reason to act like that. If she still is acting like that, then she's some like feminist type. Like, I don't want that.
Take it a curve, boy. You stop the car, you tell her to get out.
Yeah. But since we're on the topic, just to tie it back to the point, a lot of people also use relationships, and a lot of men like to use women as their coping mechanism. They use it as a short-term gratification tool, as the device. And this is an issue for many reasons, because once you start using it in that sense, you start idolizing it. And for a man to idolize a woman in that way, he starts giving her constant attention and affection and all of this stuff. And then that's when it falls apart, because once you start doing that, me knowing from experience, it literally goes to hell. And that's not something that anybody wants in a relationship. So we shouldn't idolize relationships. We should utilize relationships.
Thanks. I like that. I like that, bro.
Exactly, bro. And I feel like a woman gets fulfillment with like you being on your purpose. This is just what I've noticed, bro, from experience. Like, women don't want you when you're not doing something else. Yeah, they might say they want you to focus on them and give them all of your time, but just do that and watch how they act. It's not going to be how they act when you're on your thing. Bro, when you're doing things, when you get a raise, when you get into a program, they feel happy too. They tell their friends about it. They tell the world about it. They feel successful when you're successful. For us, it's not the same. It's like, I don't know. I don't speak on behalf of you guys, but if a woman comes to me and she's like, yo, I got a PhD, I got this, I'm like, I don't really notice those things. That's just me. You know, can you be a good woman?
Yeah.
You know how to act like a good woman.
It's like, bro, if a
about.
woman says that, yeah, you appreciate it, but that's not what you're looking for in a woman. I know it's off track. I know definitely it's off track from what we're like meant to be talking about here. But Rami, you bring home a good point. And it boils down to submission. What are you submitting to? Are you submitting to the creator, or are you submitting to a woman?
Facts.
Or are you submitting to something else?
Yeah. Damn. And you know what? Since we're on the topic, I just want to drive this. I want to drive 2 points home. I want to reiterate what Faiyad, what you said before. If you have a medical issue and a doctor prescribes like what is it, THC or something like that?
THC, medical marijuana. It's usually CBD, bro.
Yeah. So anything that has to like any kind of medical marijuana or anything like that, even if it's Adderall or anything, right? If they prescribe it to you and you need it for certain medical purposes, there's nothing wrong with that. This is a medical condition. That. Yeah. I'm talking about
recreational.
Yeah, exactly. Just to drive that point home. Secondly, what was my second point, man? I forgot my second point. Yeah, I was gonna say,
bro.
Oh yeah. Bismillah. So we say that a man should not submit to a woman.
Guys, hold up. Comment down below how many times Rami says, "Bro, I forgot this." Oh yeah. And the winner it's 2-3 will times. But like, just comment down below. And no, from episode 1.
Oh yikes!
And the winner is gonna get a one-on-one consultation with Anghel.
What?
Yeah, he's a certified nutritionist.
All right, man, just got voluntold hard.
Certified nutritionist, bro. What?
Yes, sir.
Bro, don't be blaspheming.
Bro, I went on a 1 week trip. I'm gonna just say this quick before Rami goes on. I went on a 1 week trip to Iceland with Anghel, and bro, this guy told me pretty much everything I've been eating that I thought there was nothing wrong with, and this guy made a whole 180. He's like, bro, your diet's whack. Your diet's off point.
I gave him dawa on nutrition.
He gave me dawa on nutrition. By day 7, I was like, yo, I like the way this guy eats. It's just avocados, sweet potatoes, and some type of meat. It's simple.
It's simple.
All right, maybe inshallah we'll talk about that one day. We'll have a full-fledged discussion because this is something I need to learn. Maybe I should book a private consultation with Anghel.
Winner will be announced.
I'm not a nutritionist.
I'm gonna win that contest inshallah and get the consultation
professionally. All right, bro, go on.
All right, yeah. So I was gonna say it's not befitting. I'll say, especially Islamically, it's not befitting for a man to submit to a woman. All kinds of problems come from that. But depending on what you mean by submit, it would actually not be wrong or bad, especially Islamically, for a woman to submit to a man. Because like you said, a woman's nature is more submissive. So I don't want, any women to hear this and be like, okay, so am I a feminist? Am I not a feminist? Do I submit? Do I not submit? Because it depends on what you mean by submission. Not in the sense that you're like a slave to him, right? And definitely not in the sense that
I'm not saying that, bro.
Yeah, definitely not in the sense that like we're slaves to Allah and we submit to him. But there is a level to it because the Prophet ﷺ said, I believe it's an authentic hadith and I don't think it's disputable. Allah knows best. But there's a hadith where the Prophet ﷺ said that if prostrating to anybody else other than Allah was allowed, he would command wives to prostrate to their husbands. So
bro,
Islamically
doing
speaking,
that puts a woman literally aligned with her energy.
Yeah, but that's
not doing it. She's not.
That's something that they wouldn't know because we grew up in a society like that. I'm not saying that. No, astaghfirullah, it's haram. For anyone to prostrate to anyone other than Allah. Islamically, it's haram. But the point is, a lot of women nowadays are never even put in that situation to be in a physical position of not prostration but submission outside of like sex or something like that, outside of physical intimacy. So it's kind of like they wouldn't even know that. They wouldn't even know that from experience, even because the society we grow up in, it influences things like we listen to music, and even porn for some reason is normal, and things like cheating is normal. Oh my God, yeah, things like that is normal. But for
You
a
gonna tell them
woman,
about your account?
not
My
this
OnlyFans?
Yeah,
Hell no,
tell
not
them?
this account, not this episode, bro.
There's a dedicated
Okay.
episode to that.
Yeah,
Patreon only. I got you.
Go to my bio. You'll see I'm like top 0.05% of creators or something like that.
Yeah, it helped him just buy a house. Actually, he just got a house.
Alhamdulillah. My subscriptions are pretty cheap though. I know that most of my demographic is like younger audiences, so I'm not gonna be one of those chicks that are here charging $30 just to see pictures of them fully clothed eating food. All right, I give you good content, so stay tuned.
All right. But yeah, it would be weird. All this stuff is normal, but it's weird for a woman to even want to be a housewife.
Yeah, it is.
Man.
Especially in the West. Especially in the West.
I know, bro. Yo, if y'all made it this far, leave a comment down below. Housewife. So we know who the real T3M peeps are.
Yeah, for real, man. And I would go as far as to say that, like, and again, this is completely off topic. Why are we going into this? But whatever, halas, bro, I'll go into it. A submissive woman isn't a woman who prostrates to you. It's a woman who's like, who takes care of you. Like she has that femininity. She has that feminine energy, and she takes care of you, bro. As a man, what do you want? You want a woman who takes care of you. Like, you don't want to come home and then this woman's just nagging your ear off. She won't cook for you. She's not like showing you any affection or anything like that. Why would any man in his right mind want a woman like that? And that's all we mean by a woman being submissive. And like, if you had that same example and you have a man who's in that same position being this way towards a woman, oh man.
Yeah. By the way, I just want to say that, like, just this is the final point, inshallah. I didn't like make it up when I said that, because there's actually been studies done that showed that there's actually an article on it about these studies, and it's titled the paradox of women's rights and happiness. Because naturally you'd think the more rights you have, the more happy you'd have, the more freedom you have, so you're happier. It's actually paradoxical, as they put in the title, because the more rights women got, I think from the 70s to like the 2000s, it was over 35 years. The more rights they got, the less happy they were. And they actually conducted experiments and interviews with a bunch of different people, and they only got more candidates in the thousands as the years went on. And they found that their happiness just got lower and lower and lower and lower with the more rights they got. It's not even just compared to men, independent of what men experience. Compared to men, yes, but even independently of what men experience, they saw that women over time, their happiness levels went down the more rights they got. And I'm not saying women shouldn't have rights. I'm not saying they're like slaves or anything like that. Because even in Islam, even slaves have rights. Women are not slaves. Don't worry. I'm not saying that. But it's just some food for thought.
Yo, this is by far the most educated SoundCloud rapper that I've met in my life.
Still pleasing, man. Don't sleep on him.
Oh, guys, we are going to link that article that he's talking about, that study, inshallah, and we'll also link his SoundCloud. Do not forget, subscribe to this man on SoundCloud. Make his dream happen, y'all.
We will, inshallah, also link the one you were talking about.
My nutritionist program?
No, bro. Screw that. The music thing.
Frequency.
Yeah. For sure.
And his own.
And you're not linking, you ain't linking anything about nutrition, bro. There's one lucky winner who gets the number right for the times Rami had memory loss. And only that.
Yo, we already know it's going to be Sonja.
Why would she want consultation with you?
Maybe she wants, bro, she might just want to know how to eat. That's all.
Okay, that's fair. Yeah, I take it back. I apologize. But
come on, bro.
Know how to eat what, bro?
Hey, keep it halal, bro. Keep it halal.
I mean, hey, bro, it's not. I didn't say anything. You're not halal for even thinking that I went there.
Hey, you can think it, but if you don't act it, then it's not haram.
I like that, bro. All right, guys. Why don't you conclude this wonderful episode?
All right, so if you tuned in this far, I don't know how the hell you did, but you did. And we congratulate you for that. We thank you for that. It's been a pleasure having you guys on this completely all over the place trip that we had today. But yes, to sum it all up, if you're not submitting to the creator, you're submitting to something else. And music, is it haram? Is it not haram? They say it is. And you know, we can't argue with the consensus, but just think about it for yourself. Cut it out for at least a month. If you're still listening to it, you know, if you're still listening to it, cut it out for at least a month. See how it feels for you. Like Faiyad said, how are you gonna know you have an issue if you're not even trying anything? So cut it out and see what happens. All right, but really think for yourself. Understand that when you listen to music, it is making you submit. You are submitting to the music, which starts to make you dance. Once you are in full submission to the music, you are in full submission to the message that's being transmitted, whether that be vocally, whether that be in terms of frequency, but you are at the will of the music. And the rapper Triple X Temptation, back when I wasn't a Muslim, he said it before he passed away that he could control people, how they felt, what they were thinking, based on the music that he made. So look for yourself. If you're looking for the answers, go seek them. I take everything that we say with a grain of salt, because obviously, you know, we are on one. We are definitely on one. But to conclude the video, thank you again. If you made it this far, much love. Alhamdulillah, subhanallah. And anything else y'all want to say?
Yeah, man. Ladies, gentlemen, there was another word you used in episode number 4. I forgot what it was. He, tree, Z, or whatever. Share the video, like the video, comment it. Find a brother or sister that's struggling right now with a substance abuse problem or with music. Don't tell them anything. Don't attack them. Just send them this. Be like, yo, this is a dope podcast. Or send it with people that'll find value. Exactly. This, you guys sharing this video is the only thing that could really help us spread the truth. All right. Likes, yeah, people will see it. Comments, yeah, but sharing, it's like the only way to like bring people to the truth is to bring more people and sharing with your loved ones and people that respect you. Right. It's not every day that, you know, people have you share a video to them. So when you do, they're gonna be like, okay, what is this? And inshallah, they find the value that you get as well. Rami, anything you want to say before we close off?
No, that's it from me, man.
I think you should close out, bro. You definitely know how to close out real nicely. I don't know how to say all the words yet.
حبيبي, may Allah bless you. اللهم آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. جزاك الله خير, everybody, for watching. May Allah bless you all. With that being said, the time is now. Assalamu
Boy, don't be
alaikum.
taking my thing.
With that being said, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.